Alright, in this one I want to go over some of my levels that I'm watching, my areas of interest, and just a little update to my video yesterday, what has happened since then, and go more in depth on the levels that I am watching. So, since my last video, we have gotten to move to the downside, and right now we have fallen out of the value area high that we just peaked back into. This is a little discouraging, I have to say. If you wanted Bitcoin to find support in this range, us, immediately falling back out of it is not exactly what you want to see. So, if you're still holding on to that hope that we are going to reclaim this range and find some kind of support in here, then I would really want to see us get back into this range pretty quickly. Otherwise, the chances, in my opinion, are decreased since we have put in a lower low and then made an attempt to get back into the range, but have, fallen back out. So I do think things are looking a little more bearish than they were yesterday, even though, we did have some divergences and things at those lows. Right now, the 4 hour is printing another red dot here. Things are taking a turn back to the downside. We can check the 2 hour, and money flow is getting a slight turn back to the downside. We still could, just see price kind of hang out here for a while and eventually turn to the upside since we have these money flow divs, but we could also just see this money flow take a turn to the downside as price gets another dump and kind of void those divergences. It's hard to tell at this point, but I would say things are looking slightly less optimistic than they were yesterday. And looking at the areas of interest that I have marked out, I would say that I am more interested in the levels of resistance as opposed to the levels of support because there really isn't much for support. I will run through the support first quickly. So on some of the higher time frames, like the 6 hour, if my scroll wheel will work, we have an area of inefficiency here. There is just one candle in this area, which is an area of inefficiency, or you can call it a fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. But there is not much support until we get down to this area, which I have marked out with an 18-hour order block and a 12-hour order block. So the 18 pretty much is this purple candle that we have in the middle here. I know there's no blue candle to the left, but since it marks the bottom and it marks the end of an inefficiency, I still think it's irrelevant. And inside of that, the 12-hour order block is a little bit smaller. It gives us a little area to kind of focus on in here. And inside of those order blocks, we also have a 786. So there is some confluence inside of this 12-hour order block. Also going to a lower time frame, we have the point of control of this little range inside of the 12-hour order block. So I would be interested to see if we can get a significant bounce from this area, specifically like in between the value area high, point of control, 786, and inside this 12-hour order block. And I would really have to see what happens if we get down there before I even think about taking a trade from there. Because this doesn't really go along with anything. It doesn't go along with market structure. On the higher time frames, we did SFP, the market structure point, on like the daily, but on the 4 hour, we broke market structure. We just continued the downtrend, and we have not broken the downtrend yet. The market structure point, the lower high, is up here. So this would not make sense based on 4 hour market structure for us to put in a higher high, or excuse me, a higher low here, and then continue up because we're in a downtrend. And, right now we could just be putting in a lower high before putting in a lower low. Not saying we can't get a bounce from here, not saying it can't work, but based on market structure, at least the 4 hour market structure, it does not make sense. Yeah, all things considered, I'm not super confident in it, so I would really want to see some kind of confirmation, something to give me confidence as price gets moved into this area, maybe like a low time frame market structure shift, maybe like absorption from this low, something like that to give me some kind of confidence in it. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to touch it. And that's really all I'm looking for in terms of support. We have this golden pocket down here, but it's in the middle of that inefficiency. I probably would not be interested in that. And anything else would be local support. I did just take a long from these lows. We did SFP, this local market structure point, and then we came down and hovered around my stop loss for what seemed like forever. Almost stopped me out, but didn't quite. I'm still in this long, and I just locked in a bit of profits. I de-risked this. So really, in terms of long ideas, I'm looking locally or potentially down to this area. And for resistance levels, I do have this box marked out up here. This is an area that interests me. We have the golden pocket coming in right around the value area high of this downtrend. You can call it a little range, but I took this fixed range from the high, so it's the volume of this downtrend. And the market structure point also lines up there. I guess you can say we technically did break market structure here because we did get closes down below this low. And on the 15-minute, we definitely did. On the 30-minute, we even got some closes. And going much higher than that, I guess you can call this 1 hour internal structure maybe. I wouldn't say it's primary structure because on the 1 hour, this isn't really a higher high, higher low, higher high. It's too close. I wouldn't really call it that. But, you could look at this as 1 hour internal structure, but in terms of the lower time frames, it is somewhat primary structure, or at least we did have a market structure transition here on the lower time frames where we broke the last higher low and then began a downtrend. And the last lower high is coming in right up here. And I like this area because we could come up here, SFP, the last market structure point. We could deviate the value area high. We could tap off of this golden pocket, which now, since we put in a lower low, is technically an untapped one. This is a new golden pocket. This tap does not count because we put in a new low since then. So there is some confluence in this area. So right now, this is like the main area of resistance I'm looking at. We do have this 5 hour order block / supply zone that I had marked out up here. And I was really hoping that once we got that low time frame shift in market structure, that we would come up to retest this area. This was an area I was really interested in back here, but now I'm not so sure because a retest of this area would not follow the market structure I was looking at, because we have now basically continued this market structure, and so coming up above this high would basically be breaking the downtrend. So this idea does not make a lot of sense now based on that market structure. So I still have it marked out just in case. I mean, we get false breaks all the time. Maybe we just get a crazy move up here. Maybe there's like a crazy decrease of OI. And I might still be interested in this area, but as for the idea that I had when I marked this area out, I am not really paying attention to that anymore. And this zone I have marked out with this blue candle, and I also included this wick of this candle because why not? It just makes the zone a little bit bigger. I probably would have covered this wick anyway, so it doesn't hurt to make your order block a little bit bigger. And also the other reason I may still be interested in this area is because daily open is right below it. So maybe we deviate daily open, get a move back down below it. That's really the only way I would be interested in this area right now. Other than that, I probably wouldn't pay attention to it. But above that is an area that I think is pretty interesting. We have an 8 hour order block up here. So if I go to the 8 hour and I zoom in here, this is a clean order block, at least by the way that I mark them out. Blue candle in between two purples, and then we got a very aggressive move to the downside. And we also have a wick kind of front running this level right here. So potentially we get a CDW of that wick into this order block. And this is also right below the point of control of the larger range. So I'd say it's at an important area, because if we're able to get above the point of control, then the situation changes, in my opinion. Then we've kind of, at least in my opinion, reclaimed this larger range. Right now, I think if we get another move up to this area, and like a quick one, then I think we still can get rejected from this area and then fall back outside of the range. Still think it's possible, especially since it would be following 4 hour structure. The 4 hour market structure point is up here. We could definitely put in a lower high right here. So In terms of longer term resistance, right now this is probably the main area that I am focused on. And we also, I believe, have a 786 up here. Yep, right there. So there's a specific level that you could watch in there. You could also take the volume of this little range over here and see if any volume levels line up there. I'll try pulling it from the high. And so you could look at this value area low, that point of control. That can give you some other levels to watch. Maybe I'll just take it from like where this range starts. That doesn't seem to change it much at all. So yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, right now I think this 8 hour is the best thing I'm seeing in terms of resistance before we get above the POC and this 4 hour MS point. This 12-hour order block, I would not say it's valid because we have another candle inside of this order block. We didn't get that aggressive move away right after the candle printed like we did on this 8 hour. So I think this is the best thing that I am seeing. And we can also run the liquidity from all over here. Everybody that shorted in this area, maybe they still have their stop losses up above this high. So I think a quick wick up into here and then a quick rejection could be interesting. So in terms of my plans, that's pretty much what I'm looking at right now. There isn't too much to go off of really right now. I just kind of want to see if we are able to reclaim the larger range or if we're going to get rejected, which right now it kind of looks like we are. Alright, well, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Really appreciate the support, and I will see you all in the next video.